Baby. I'm Ross Mandell and welcome to my show. We're coming to you today live from Boca Raton, Florida. We're coming to you uncut, unedited, unfiltered, uncensored. One more time, guys. We're under arrest. Yes, yes, yes. Isn't that cute? Let me tell you, that's going to be real cute up until this coming Monday. Yes, Monday. Rossi has to go to federal court. And, you know, the United States of America versus Ross H. Mandell et al. These are my other defendants. We're going to be at federal court at 2 o'clock. So if you see this, you're in Manhattan and you got nothing else to do, come on down to Federal Plaza and say hey. And you get to see the Ross Mandell show live, uncut, from federal court. And let me tell you, talk about intimidating. Oh, this is the greatest home court advantage in the modern world. You walk into this place, they make you wait. They shuffle you in. You sit at the defendant's table. You know, it's not like when you get married, you sit at the dais. You're sitting at the defendant's table. Man, it's lonely and it's scary. And then this guy walks in and you hear, whack, whack, all rise. The Honorable Judge Paul A. Crotty presiding. That judge walks in, it's like God just delivered the 10 Commandments. You gotta get up and you better be respectful, because in that courtroom, that judge is God. He is God. Now, a lot of things I wanted to catch up on. As you know, today is the first day of Rosh Hashanah, or as we used to say on Wall Street, Rosh Hashanah, because all the Jews split early. And there's a lot of things to talk about on this Jewish holiday. You know, I've been giving you a very compelling argument for the stock market. As you know, I expect the market to just collapse. It's going to be, I believe, historical proportion. It's going to be like out of the Bible. I mean, you know, fire and brimstone stuff. You're going to see a real sharp downward plunge. And as I told somebody yesterday, you know, it's going to be severe. It's going to be quick. And if you don't play it soon, by the time it starts, there's no way, no how you're going to get involved. You're just going to be sitting there like, Now, I've figured a lot of arguments, a lot of different opinions. People say, it's going higher, earnings, blah, blah, blah. That's the great thing about the markets. You got buyers and you got sellers. And I would tell you that, frankly, since I made this call, the last few days, the market's doing exactly what I would expect it to do. It came down from 10,700 down to 10,000, then it bounces back to 10,500, and they're just churning this market between the 10 and 11 mark, churning it, taking positions, positioning themselves for the fall, and so forth. So we're not losing anything today by jumping away from that subject. Now, some of you that check my Facebook from time to time are aware that tomorrow night, Friday night, in the city, in Manhattan, there's a big night on Money Rocks. Fox called me today and asked if I would please come in for this special show, and I'm going to do it. So tomorrow, I'm on a plane. I fly to New York, go to Fox Studios. I do this special show, and then I get my ass right back. Now, tomorrow is September the 10th. I go back for court on Monday, September the 13th. We got federal court at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I stay over Tuesday and Wednesday, and I do another Fox show, Money Rocks, Tuesday night and Wednesday night. People are saying, well, why don't you just stay over? Well, guess what? Tomorrow is September the 10th. Saturday is September the 11th. Saturday is the 9-year anniversary of the death and destruction of the World Trade Centers, the murder of 3,000 innocent American civilians, and so forth. Prior to stepping into this room to take this podcast for you, I received a host of text messages and emails, people responding to the fact that I am flying to New York tomorrow. And there's a very big headline, and it's really been ruling the headlines the last few days, and it's something we got to talk about today. We got to talk about this today, because it's disturbing. It's real. This is going on in real time. And I believe that, I believe that I called this about a week ago. There's a Reverend Jackson in Gainesville, Florida. He's a Christian minister who is was announced that he's going to be burning Korans. That is the holy book of Islam. It's like the Bible, the New Testament, if you're a Christian or a Catholic. It's like the 5 books of Moses, or the Old Testament, if you're a Jew. This is their holy doctrine, their holy book, the story of Islam from the eyes of Islam. And some people feel that this is a vile, disgusting act that's being perpetrated on Islam by America. And there are various Muslim leaders around the world that have declared war on America and Americans, no matter where they should reside or be or travel, anywhere in the world. And that America, even on American soil, America will be unsafe for Americans as a result of one man's position on burning these holy books. Now, let's talk about this quickly, and I'm going to be very straightforward. A week ago on Money Rocks, there was a big debate about the Ground Zero Mosque. And I said, look, I am vehemently against it. Do they have a right under the American Constitution to build there? Yes, they have that right. Just because you have the right doesn't mean it makes it the right thing to do. It doesn't mean that it's appropriate. You might have the right to yell fire, freedom of speech, in a crowded movie theater. It's the wrong thing to do. When they teach you First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, and when you're a kid in America, they talk about that example. If you're in a crowded theater or a stadium, you scream fire. Well, you're exercising freedom of speech. Well, you're also inciting issues. It's the wrong thing to do. And I believe that America is very sensitive. And I said on television, there will be incidents. Anti-Muslim, anti-Islamic incidents will become the norm rather than the exception. There was a shooting in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where they're building another, 52,000 square foot mosque. And there was a fire, and there were shots fired, and the FBI is investigating, and they're looking at it as a very anti-Muslim kind of thing, albeit, a one-off event. There was a stabbing of a Muslim cab driver by some lunatic kid in New York City who was, while he was stabbing him, was screaming, hateful epitaphs against Muslims and pro-America and all that kind of a thing. A lot of people say that's also a one-off kind of thing. Well, a guy, a Christian minister in Florida burning Korans on his property is probably his legal right in America to do so. It's his legal right. Just like it's the right of the Muslims to build that Ground Zero Mosque. But it doesn't make it right. In fact, it's my opinion that it's disgusting. The burning of books of any kind is symbolic of stupidity, ignorance, and hatred. And I'm vehemently against it. It brings back to me, memories on the black and white television of Kristallnacht in the late 30s in Nazi Germany, when they rounded up Jews in the middle of the night and they burned their books, they broke into their storefronts and their homes. They had big bonfires of Jewish stuff. They did this during the Inquisition. This is ignorance and hatred at its finest. And I find it disgusting. Now, the Muslims were using words like Islamophobia. Let me say something to you. 9/11 was a religious crime. 20 Muslims screaming Allah Akbar, slammed planes, hijacked planes and slammed them into the World Trade Center, murdering innocent people in the name of Islam. In the name of Islam, these people were murdered. They tried to blow up the World Trade Center. Prior to that, who's they? Muslims. Islamic extremists. Okay? Islam has been a tainted concept here in America. However, there are millions of American citizens that practice Islam and the Muslim faith in peace and quiet and serenity. It is a wholesome, God-loving, God-fearing religion that I think is beautiful. And I think that the freedom to worship is a basic right in this country, and it's what makes this country great. Certainly greater than the Islamic countries, where they stone women to death. And if you get caught shoplifting, they cut your hands off. And women have no rights. They don't have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, any of the rights we have in this great country. Now, this guy's going to burn Korans in memory of September the 11th. That is a vile, offensive act. But if it is his legal right on his property to do so, it's like burning the flag. It's like burning the American flag at hate rallies throughout America. It's what makes America great. You have the right, you have the freedom to do these kind of things. I mean, Ross Mandell probably doesn't have that right. But every other American has that right. You know, me, they draw a little tougher line with me. But I want you to know, it's my opinion. You know, every time you go to the airport and you have to wait online for these elongated searches, and you can't bring a bottle of water through security, you got to go buy it for $6 on the other side. We think about these Islamic murderers that caused this change in our system on September the 11th, 2001. And so I said on national television, I predicted, these will not be one-off events. There is a fundamental feeling in America, as well as other parts of the world, which I'm familiar with, that Islam is bad, that there are parts of Islam that are hateful and have no place in our country. You know, I detest that feeling. I detest those people, but to suggest or ignore that they exist is stupidity. Just like the Holocaust, where they incinerated, rounded up, and murdered millions of Jews, millions of Russians. All the gypsies, all the homosexuals were murdered. And I'm just going to share with you that to ignore this huge section of our population would be very, very foolish. Because, you know, there's a whole load of people that are coming out against the burning of the Koran, but there's a lot of people that are saying, nah, 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 nah. You want to build a ground zero mosque? Nah, 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 nah. It's crazy. But this is what's going on in our world today, people. And it's this man's opinion that there's no place in society for the burning of the Koran or any other holy books. Any books at all, frankly. And the Ground Zero Mosque must be moved because that is going to incite the haters into acting out in inappropriate and vile ways. It's just like putting fuel on a fire. It's like mixing the pot. So, you know, to sort of wind this up, I am flying to New York. I'm doing the show, and then I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. Because I lived there during 9/11, and I know what happened, and I can tell you it could happen again. And it's this man's opinion I'm going to be safe in Boca Raton, Florida with my family. The odds of them coming down and burning up Boca is very slim. I might die of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. Certainly, I don't think we're going to have this kind of terrorist activity down here. So listen, I just want to say these are very serious subjects. And there are some very serious people involved. And I want to thank you all for listening today. I'm so grateful. What a privilege it is to come here today and say, hey. All right? Ross Mandell. It's SSL. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. RossMandell.com. Check out my website. I look forward to hearing from you. We'd love to know what you think about all this. All right? Don't be afraid. Reach out to me. Ross@RossMandell.com. Everybody have a great, great day. Thank you.